Hello Constitutional Law class. This video is a brief review of what we covered in Unit 2 and a look ahead to Unit 3. So in Unit 2 we talked about the case or controversy requirement and the Article 3 limits of the judicial power to cases or controversies. We talked about how that played out in the context of advisory opinions. We looked at the requirements for standing, and we looked at the test that the court employs in standing cases. And we also talked about prudential limits on standing and the kind of cases in which courts sometimes find prudential limits. We noted that the constitutional standing, the Lujan test, is a matter of constitutional concern. It's a jurisdictional matter, and Congress can't change it, and that prudential standing is a prudential judgment and that Congress could change it. We looked at how the standing doctrine played out in some specific factual settings in the Lujan case, Mass v. EPA, and the Clapper case, as well as in the Spokio case. We also talked about the doctrines of mootness and the doctrine of ripeness, and the political question doctrine. And in the political question doctrine, we noted the six-factor analysis in Baker v. Carr. And we also very briefly went through various cases that you can find in the slides and in the book in which the political question doctrine played out in one context or another. Then at the end of the class, we went through some examples. We talked about the Trump immigration order, that should say Trump, not Obama, and then we also talked about examples concerning cybersecurity and data breaches. So there's a lot of material that we covered with some good meaty kind of legal analysis and tests that you can kind of sink your hooks into, and as we saw, that it can really play out in various ways in different kinds of cases. A few administrative notes I wanted to highlight. I did post an answer key to Quiz 1 in the materials for Unit 1. Notice that all of the correct answers are marked as A. That's because when it displays to you, it's actually displayed in random order. I will post an answer key for the Unit 2 quiz when that quiz closes later this week. The slides from Saturday are now posted under Unit 2, so all the slides that we went over in class. A note on discussion forum grades. Again, most of you, I was really pleased with the quality of the discussion forum. A few of you received less than full credit, and that's either because some of your follow-up posts really didn't have any substance to them, or you simply neglected to do all or some of your follow-up posts. So, all I'm asking, I'm not grading, what you say per se. All I'm asking is for some good substantive discussion. Most of you are doing that, and I really appreciate it. Looking forward to next week. Here's the material from the syllabus. We're going to continue our discussion of federalism. We're going to talk about limits of the necessary and proper clause. Note that in addition to the reading in the textbook, there's an excerpt from the Obamacare case, which I have posted and which you need to read, and I talk about quite a bit in the lecture, and we're going to be following that case through as we talk about the Commerce Clause and the taxing and spending power over the next couple of units as well. There'll be more excerpts that I'll post over the next few units. And then we'll be talking about the commerce power before the New Deal. I've noticed as I've taught this can be a little bit frustrating because almost all of the case law that we're talking about in terms of the Commerce Clause is really not the current doctrine. That's okay. I do want you to read through it. It's really important to have the historical context here because the historical context really affects how the doctrine develops in this area. Plus, I think the historical context is really interesting. So look forward to a good week. See you on the discussion forums, and then we'll see you in person in a couple of weeks.